is Tony?
That's my.
We need to know your name.
My government name is Dionisio Melo.
Oh, I'm not saying
Your
that.
government name? Okay.
Dionisio.
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 I'm not gonna say that.
Everybody
I'm
calls
gonna
me
forget it.
My parents call me Tony. I don't know.
Oh, okay, because it said Tony. I was like, is his name Melo? And then they're like, no, it's Tony Melo. And I'm like, wait.
I was like, so his name's Anthony or Antonio?
My middle name.
Ah,
Antonio.
okay.
Delicioso?
She murdered it.
See, doesn't it kill your spirit that she's Hispanic and that's what came out?
Yeah.
I forgot what it was.
The white girl in her is strong. Her white girl force.
What was it?
Dionisio.
Dionisio.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Welcome back to Sisterhood of the Traveling Geek. I'm your host, Ashley.
Que lo que, and I am your co-host, Edelia. That's right. I went in with a Dominican saying because of who we have with us today.
And who do we have with us today? I'm going to say it wrong again.
We're just gonna call him Melo.
Melo. We have Melo.
Yeah, we can leave my real first name out.
Yeah. Does anybody in the jiu-jitsu community actually know you by your whole name?
Some people do. Some people, but not mine.
Well, I mean, now we do.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to say it to
I already
everybody.
forgot it. Like, how to say it. Like, if I'm even saying it right in my head. Like, I feel like...
Dionisio.
Yeah, Dionisio.
It was wrong again. It was wrong again.
Oh, 100%.
In my head. Honestly. I said the first thing I think. What, does that mean anything? Is that a word?
No,
it's a name.
No, what I said. Delicioso.
I know. I don't know what that
That's
means.
not a word, right?
No,
That
but
sounds
it
like a
sounded
disease or something.
Yeah.
Sounds like a disease.
Or almost like you wanted to say delicioso, but then you were trying to mix it with something else.
Alright, yeah, we're gonna stick to, Melo.
Yes.
We have our friend Melo, who's a black belt and co-owner of Mortalis Jiu-jitsu, which is really close to my house, honestly.
Yeah, super close.
Very convenient. Love going to their open mats. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Tony Melo. Not my official name, but
Right.
we'll stick to Tony Melo. I'm 38 years old, black belt under Ruben Alvarez, co-owner of Mortalis. We've been open a little bit over a year, and we're mainly a no-gi school. We do gi in the morning for our older crowd is in the morning time, so a lot of the older guys like training in the gi. We had gi classes at night, but they were very small, so we eliminated them. And now those days are like super packed with people. So
Which one's the gi days?
yeah, the gi days we took them
They're
out.
packed, but
Yeah,
you said they're packed now?
yeah, they're packed.
Because it's one?
We had 2 days a week, and certain days we'd have like 2 people come into class, 1 person come into class, and I was like, man, we got to cut
You cut it out completely?
it out completely at night.
Oh.
So now those classes have 20, 25, 30 people in them. So
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
More effective if more people are
Do you
interested.
do you think why is it that you think that the gi is dying so hard? Like,
We were gonna start with like icebreaker questions.
I know,
We'll
but since
we'll
you
go
said
this way.
that,
I just think like the prevalence of like ADCC taking off, at least for the people in the community, right? There's more opportunities for super fights, more events are more no-gi oriented. So for the people that are doing jiu-jitsu, a lot of them are going towards no-gi because there's just more events that they could do. More opportunities to get your brand out there. As far as people on the outside, once you throw that gi on, it kind of looks like karate. People are like, yo, you're doing karate, you know? So some people feel goofy in that. Like you grab a wrestler and you put them in a gi, they're like, I hate this thing, you know? But you show them no gi, they're like, that looks very similar to what I was doing before. So I think it translates a little bit easier, especially for like MMA fans. And I just think it's a whole different sport now, where before it was, most of your days were gi. You had like 1 or 2 no-gi days, and I think those days have changed. I see a lot of gi schools now have a lot more no-gi days just for the demand. Cause
sadly though, I hear that some of them don't even teach like leg locks and stuff.
yeah,
Like I had some like lady and her children visit at that gypsy event, and she goes to like a predominantly gi school, but it's also no gi. But they're like, oh, but they don't teach us leg locks at all. So they were so excited to learn like the little stuff that we were showing that day. I was like, oh my god, for sure, I'll answer all your questions. Whatever you want to know.
And leg locks should be like, people talk about the basics, like, you know, closed guard, whatever. Leg locks should be part of your basics.
I agree.
That should be
like
part of
wipe out.
Yeah, you should be learning how to escape straight ankle locks. Like I don't allow white belts to heel hook or do like leg locks aside from straight ankle locks to other white belts, but they can attack anybody blue belt and higher.
Yeah.
It's just so we could limit any type of injuries, and it seems to work for us. You know, we don't have white belts attacking each other. I mean, it does happen. We try to catch it and like, hey, you shouldn't be doing toe holds. You know, plus it's not in your rule set for when you're gonna compete. So just to get them used to that, and just so they can be safe. Now they want to attack a higher belt. Most of my blue belts, once they get to blue, they know how to defend heel hooks, straight ankle locks. So it's part of our basics. Like you have to be able to defend your whole body.
And sometimes it happens at open mat though, like the white belts attacking each other and the injuries.
The white belts on white belt crime.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to control too. Is open mats too.
Yeah.
People come from other schools. Like
how does that work? Like they get injured and they're from another school. But
I mean, we have waivers and stuff, but
that's scary though, because like look what happened with that was in the same school. I know we're jumping around. But
We're jumping.
I gotta go with it.
let's go with the flow.
Yeah, because it keeps we're hitting the points anyway.
All right, no, you're right.
Like okay, first of all, the guy like actually did get his like slightly paralyzed. I think Ben. His name was.
Yeah.
And then now this other person that sued the black belt, who apparently is okay. He's in a lot better condition supposedly.
I know he's not like fully paralyzed, I believe, or he's like gaining. I don't know.
I saw somebody posting from Five Grappling saying that this guy is doing hiking. He's like vacationing. He's doing normal things. Like his injury was not as intense as they're making it out to be. Like, and it was more temporary apparently. If he was even slightly paralyzed.
I don't know. I would try to stay away from any spinal anything.
But did you see the video?
Like,
No.
You haven't seen the video?
No, the roll. What happened? Yeah, I saw that.
So that wasn't like.
That wasn't.
Attack.
It didn't look malicious. It looks like he was just trying to roll him over the shoulder. The guy's neck got jammed up. Like it was unfortunate for, of course, the victim more than the gym owner. But are things that could happen. It didn't look malicious.
What does the gym owner do in that situation? Like. That was a lot of money that he sued for.
Yeah.
Like, gym owners don't make that much money.
No, they don't. No.
So like he's like in debt now. Like that much money? That's crazy.
I don't know how that works.
Maybe because when you own a gym, you have to have insurance. I have to have insurance, but I don't think anybody's insurance is covering $46 million. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but the big talking point is Henner Gracie.
Yeah, testifying.
So a lot of gym owners are like, "Hey, dude, what the fuck?" Like. You're going against the community and talking like the guy did it maliciously. Now the video came out, you could tell it wasn't malicious. So everybody's like, this guy's just trying to sell. Always, the Gracie combatives. Like he went testified as like an expert against the school owner. Like it was something very malicious. Wow. Like wouldn't happen in his
Supposedly
gym.
he's also getting paid for that. Or he got paid for
that. Oh yeah, he definitely got paid for
he's always getting paid.
Well, if there's one thing he knows how to do is cash a check.
Oh my.
Yeah.
All right, now we can go to our icebreaker questions. Okay, so I don't really know you that well besides jiu-jitsu in general. I know you have a dog, so you like dogs. But like, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color? I would say blue.
I had a feeling you'd say blue. You look like a blue type of guy. I feel it's also like the default for most dudes. Blue.
Is it? I don't think so.
I rarely hear any other color. Blue's like.
I like blues, purples. Those type of colors.
Yeah. Blues and purples. And you always have colorful shoes too. Oh yeah, you like shoes. You like Nikes.
Yeah, I mostly wear Air Maxes. I used to like Jordans and stuff when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. You bought Jordans, you bought Timberlands. I used to live in New York. So you ever have to have your Air Forces, your Timberlands, and then your Jordans. But nowadays, these kids, they all buy up all the Jordans online. They never even see them play. So I stopped buying Jordans and I mostly buy Air Max 1s and Air Max 90s. And they're easier to get and I just like getting funky with the colors sometimes.
I like a lot of Vans. Vans is that's my go-to. What about you?
I like really bougie sneakers, so I don't want to say.
Louis Vuitton?
No. Ew. But like my favorite sneakers that I have right now are Chloe's.
Chloe's? Yeah. I don't know that brand.
Yeah. And I really want a pair of Golden Goose sneakers.
Also, never heard of that brand.
Okay.
If I could wear chancletas every day though.
I mean, I do wear chancletas every day. But even my chancletas are bougie.
Oh, okay.
Are these chancletas?
Yeah, these are chancletas.
Not mine.
Oh.
Those are like the Jesus 7s.
The Jesus 7s. Platform Jesus sandals. Okay, you already told us how old you are, which was 38, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what's your sign?
My sign?
Your zodiac sign.
I think it's Sagittarius, unless it changed.
What's your birthday?
Yeah, December 19th.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Sag.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Fire sign.
Okay.
Get that fire
You're
in
stubborn.
Okay.
Can you confirm or deny?
You. No, not all fire are stubborn.
Every Sagittarius I've ever met in my life has been stubborn in one way, shape, and or form.
But I think everybody's stubborn.
That's not true.
No?
No.
There's people that are not stubborn at all.
Yes. I'm not one of them.
Well, they are kind of very free spirited and like don't want to be tied down much. Like to go with the flow a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't say tied down, but I am more go with the flow. Like I'm more chill. I don't like if something brings too much stress to me, I just take it away from me. Like I just cut it out, you know. I just like to
But
keep
you're still doing jiu-jitsu?
jiu-jitsu is that's the only
It's a different
stress.
kind of
Yeah, it's a
stress.
different kind of stress. It takes the other stress. Like I rather deal with that stress
I
over
see, okay.
life stress.
Definitely, yeah. Because the other one like kind of kills you slowly. I feel like this one doesn't kill you so much.
No, it definitely kills you.
You think so?
Yeah,
Nah.
sometimes quicker than others.
No, but it's like mental development, like physical
Oh.
development, you know. And then the other stress is like you're dying from like the inside, you know.
Yeah.
Micro
Right.
stress, like, aging you slowly. How did you get into jiu-jitsu? Like, who brought you there, or
So I'm 38, so I've been watching like UFC since I was in high school. It's for a long, long time. So I always liked guys like BJ Penn, guys more on the jiu-jitsu side. So it always intrigued me, the grappling part. And I like the strikers, of course, like Anderson Silva. So I had a girlfriend at the time, and we had met in New York, and I had moved down first, and she started doing jiu-jitsu.
Ooh.
And I was like, man, like I really want to learn jiu-jitsu. I should go and do it. But I was always kind of shy, like to do new things and stuff. And like in high school, I was short, so I couldn't get into any team. You know, I didn't do wrestling because I didn't want to wear the singlet. You know, it was just immature.
I get that.
You know, you know what?
Really?
Yeah, you got to go in front of everybody with a
Yeah,
singlet.
yeah.
You know, it's like
Felt too vulnerable.
yeah,
Yeah,
so,
dude, that's a lot.
It is quite exposing.
yeah. So I was just immature.
And also some of the grabbing is intense. Like some of their grips, like that you use.
Yeah, I just wasn't
They're
into it
legit
either.
grips. They're legit grips, but
Oh, yeah,
a
like
little
some of
intense.
the grips near the butt and stuff. Yeah.
They're loud and they're intense. They look
are.
intense.
No, they are.
And they're like using that to flip them around. Like I don't know, man.
But I never really considered like wrestling as an option either because I come from a Dominican household and it's like you play baseball
Yeah.
or so I would try to like some track and field stuff, but I was too slow. I like basketball, I'm too short.
I like basketball.
So baseball, I didn't really get into it either. So I never had a sport. So going into jiu-jitsu was something that was like nerve-wracking. So Wagner Rocha was actually about a mile from my house.
Where did the girlfriend go though?
Um,
You remember?
she had started at
That was in New York, right?
yeah, Vitor Shaolin. Yeah, he's an old school. Your coach Danny will know who Peter Shaolin is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shaolin.
Peter
Oh wait,
Shaolin's-
Shaolin. That's a move, isn't it?
I think it's a type of kung fu.
Yeah.
No, but
Or
isn't there like
something
oh,
like
it's
that.
probably a pass. I don't know. They call it the Shaolin pass.
There's probably moves named after Vitor Shaolin.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
So she was doing it, and you went to her gym.
No.
Oh, you didn't even go to her gym.
No,
You're like,
'cause-
I'm gonna try it somewhere else.
Well, she was living in New York still, and I was living here.
Oh, you had to move
Yeah.
here. Oh,
So
I
I had gone a couple times by Wagner's, but every time I'd pull up, class was going on. And it would be, the windows are fogged up. And yeah, I would kind of look through the window of my car and I would see like a bunch of dudes like sweating. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do
You're just
this.
creeping outside.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
this
one
looks
day,
weird.
I was like, man, I'm just going to get the schedule. And just get the schedule and, you know, I'll come back another day. So when I walked in, one of the guys that worked there, Adrian, just started talking to me. And he was just like, come in. You have to come in. Got my number. He actually called me, like, you know, did a sales thing to get me in there. And once I started, I never stopped.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Once you started, never stopped. There was never like a moment where you're like, man, this is rough. I don't know if I want to keep doing this.
I've had that a bunch of times, like at every belt, blue belt, especially purple belt, brown belt, not so much, or black belt yet, but definitely in the lower belts.
The lower.
Yeah, because you get that imposter syndrome, right? They give you your blue belt, and then you're like, man,
I
like,
deserve this.
yeah, and then you're like, you get tapped by like a really athletic white belt, and you're like, man, I shouldn't get tapped by them, you know? Like, that's how you think in your head. So, but yeah, like once I went into it, I didn't think I was going to be a black belt. That was not a goal. Like, I was just doing it because I liked it. It was never a goal that I was going to be a black belt. I was going to open up a school. All that stuff came later. More like I'm doing it all the time. I know I'm gonna get it by this point. Like
The
around
black
purple.
belt?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like once you got to your purple, you're like,
I'm not really gonna stop.
I'm gonna get
now.
It's kind of inevitable. It'll come when it comes.
yeah, because I like training. I was training, 6 to 7 times a week, sometimes more. I would double up on the weekends, so I knew it was gonna come. So.
Cool.
Did the girlfriend keep training?
No, she only did it for a couple months. When she moved down, she did it for a little bit too, and then she stopped doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's ex-girlfriend.
Well, sorry.
Sorry, ex-girl.
To be fair, I said the girlfriend.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't mean current.
Just checking pronouns.
Okay.
Just
Is this you letting everybody know that you're single?
No, I'm not single.
Oh, you're not
You're not single?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that. You hide that a lot, I guess.
I keep my private life private.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Cool. So, okay, I remember what I was going to say. So what eventually made you realize, okay, I'm going to open up a gym, I'm going to get my black belt, like, that's the goal now? Like, what was what advice do you have for people? Because everyone goes through that, like, all those thoughts and denials, imposter syndrome. So, like, I'm already almost brown, so I'm like, yeah, whenever it comes, so cool. But I was definitely, like, aiming for it, I think, once I hit, like, blue. But I'm always feeling like an imposter.
That's normal. I think it's normal in all aspects of life. Like you get a promotion at work, you might not feel ready for it until you really get yourself and do it. When I got the idea of opening a school, well, the idea was planted, I would say around like blue or purple belt. One day after training, Wagner was like, "Hey, you're really good at this. You should look into teaching and maybe opening a school one day." And I was like, maybe. Like I didn't really think about it too much. Mm-hmm. I had my career. I work on the automotive field, and
do you still work there?
Yeah, I still work there.
Oh, so you do both.
Yeah, so which is tough. So I heard it from him. I also heard it from Ruben Alvarez. Told me, "Hey man, you're good at this. You should look into it." So the idea kept going in my head, and that was always the plan to one day open up a school. Then we had a situation at the last gym we were at, and I had linked up with David, and we're like, "Hey David, let's open up a school." And he's like, "Okay, cool, let's do it." And we just did it. That's it. Like you just gotta put your mind to it and just go for it. I think if you over plan, you're waiting for the right moment, it's never gonna come.
No, never.
So I think just starting something and getting action, just going, like it's like starting jiu-jitsu. You have people that are like, "Oh, I need to work out and get fit to do my first class." They never come in.
Some people tell me that.
Yeah, they never come in. You're not gonna
Shut
get.
up.
What? I'm saying it's funny that that's like a common excuse.
Yeah, you're never gonna come in just to tell them, "Hey, come in," because no matter you've seen CrossFitters, all types of like athletes walk into jiu-jitsu and they still gas out.
Of course.
Because they're not efficient with their movements. They don't know technique. So it's just like in life, you just gotta jump in and do it. You're gonna pick up and learn along the way.
Yeah.
So.
I agree.
Do you think it's hard bringing like females to the gym?
Yeah.
Do you take a different approach with your female students?
No, I treat them the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't treat them different at all. And the competitors, we go hard on them too.
What? You gotta get them ready.
Yeah, so.
But there's no like women's class.
No, I mean we haven't done it yet. I mean if one of the females would want to do that, like I'm more than open for it. But we just haven't done that yet. We don't have enough females still. I think we have like 5 or 6 females. We probably have a couple more joining soon. So I would love to grow the women's program because I don't feel like there's enough girls in jiu-jitsu in general.
Do you watch women fight? Like, do you enjoy watching the female competitors and stuff?
Yes. And for the females, like you see like white line events and even on the pro levels, I think they have more action a lot of times. Like the women really scrap, so there's definitely it's just not enough of them, right? So it's like a lot of times you get the same matchups even locally. So I think maybe with time, the generation of kids that are coming up right now that you see them in the kids level and the teens that are coming up, they're going to become adults one day. And it's going to be even more. So the next wave of kids that are staying in the sport, I think is going to grow the women's sport. I just think it's hard for maybe like an age group, like my age group for women to get into it and compete, because you have the age aspect and then some women just don't like to sweat. It's not for everybody. Like jiu-jitsu is for everybody, but it's not for everybody. Like the sport will work, like this as a martial art will work for everyone, but not everyone is meant to do this. It's tough. Like
anyone can do jiu-jitsu, but jiu-jitsu isn't for everyone.
No, there's some people that are not gonna. Yeah, there's not gonna be people like they see the sweat, they're like, oh, you know, they're just grossed out. I mean, I still feel grossed out sometimes. You sit in that wet, cold
you can't think
sweat
about
puddle
it. You
that's
can't
not
think about
yours.
it. You can't think about it.
That's not yours.
When you sit in that cold puddle that's not
No,
yours,
I
you know,
or
and,
when you land in it and
Yeah.
you're like fresh.
Splash.
or somebody just drips sweat right into your mouth, your eyeball, or your ear.
Yo, I've had my eyeballs burning at the end of matches from people's sweat falling in my eyes. Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
you got grajo, you got
All
all
of
types of,
it,
you know,
all of
like
it.
so.
It's
Some,
still
it's
when
not
you
appealing for
describe it,
everybody,
yeah.
you know, and for some
Especially
women,
not women.
some women don't want that. They want some women like to be really clean, and it's. I mean, it's a sport that there's a lot of skin diseases, and that's things that they don't know about, right? That's the things that they don't know about till later. They get a ringworm, they're like, nah, screw this, I'm not doing this
Screw
crap
this.
again. Like,
Do you think it's important for women to grapple other women, or do you think like they can make it no matter what with just going by and grappling men?
I think both will work, because if you're effective against a man, against a female, you're gonna do well. But you do need a female body to roll with. You know, like one of my competitors, Amanda, I tell her all the time, hey, go to Daniel Perez, roll with the girls. Estella had rolled with her the other day, and they want to start training together now. So I was like, I'm pushing for that. I want the girls here to train together,
Right.
and that also elevates all the girls in the area. If you guys all just start training together, and then also helps in the competition. When you guys go out, you guys seeing how anybody from our teams, they go up there. You have multiple teams cheering because we all train together.
Yeah.
So I think the networking aspect is going to just elevate their skill level too. If you have these competitors not just staying in their gym, but they're cross training, even though they might fight each other. Same thing happens with the males.
Right, that's the whole thing.
No, I was gonna say, how do you feel about the way that whole cross training thing is going? Because the whole cross training thing is way different than it was like 10 years ago.
Do you think it's a double-edged sword though?
No.
Because like you said, you end up fighting them, right? So they know how you fight, or does it just make you both better after that fight? Like I guess it just makes you both better, right?
I
Because
think
you know
have
each
to
other's stuff.
It's different training versus
Competition.
competing, right? So if you're rolling with somebody you might compete against, you might not be giving her everything you got or what you're working on. You might just leave that out. That's up to you as a competitor to do that if you want. Or you might try to dominate them all the time, so when you do see them,
They get
you
scared.
get that aspect over there. Some people approach it that way, right?
No.
You got options.
Yeah.
I would probably do that first one.
But the difference is like before it was like the info wasn't out there. Like
What's a cross training?
well, just like instructionals weren't out.
Oh.
You're not supposed. I mean, when I started, Wagner said, "Hey," I asked him because I didn't know all the little rules. There's always like hidden rules in jiu-jitsu, so I would ask him like, "Do I call you master?" And he was like, "No, don't call me that." I was like, "Oh, thank God."
Oh, thank God.
But I had asked him about cross training. He's like, "No, go ahead and learn from over there. Show us what you learned." And I tell my guys the same thing. If you're traveling, you should be taking your gear with you, and that way you network too. I have friends all over the country because of people I've met through travels and stuff like that. And cross training also shows the effectiveness of your program at home. So I feel like it's a big red flag if your school says no cross training.
Agreed.
Why is that? Do you feel that you're going to lose students? So you're not confident in your program. You know, I know my guys, when they go to anywhere, I know they could hold their own in any school they go to because I'm confident in what I teach them, you know. Obviously, not everybody's on the same level. There's going to be some beginners that get beat up, and it happens, right? But I'm confident that what I'm teaching, and they go somewhere else, they can learn something great somewhere else, but I know I have value in what I teach, so I'm not worried about my students going to any of the local schools. Or,
Yeah, like I don't feel concerned showing some of my stuff. Like
No, but he also went to a gym that from the beginning was like absolutely cross trained.
absolutely.
I just wanted to see what
And
if you had experienced both.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it happening, and that was always one thing that, like, when I had left Wagner's to move to South Florida, to Miami, because of work, that's one of the things I was looking for. I was like, I don't want to go to an environment where it's not laid back like that. Because at Wagner's is not, we bow before entering the mats. We bow in and we bow out. But it's not like a traditional, bow to Elio place. We don't call him master.
So it's not culty.
Yeah, it's not, don't have those cultish or, I mean, like, how do you call it? It's just not really cultish. It's like traditional things that came from, like, Japanese inspired traditions, whatever. Okay. So we were not like that. So I kind of wanted to do that in Mortalis. Like, we bow in, we bow out. There's respect between the higher belts and the lower belts, but you can go train wherever the hell you want, If you come late to class, it's not on me to yell at you. You have work. We're in Miami. The traffic's horrible. If you make it to class, you made it to class.
At least
I'm
you made
here.
it, right?
Yeah. For me, it's like I'm offering a service, and that's jiu-jitsu. I'm teaching you jiu-jitsu. I'm not here to yell at you
and punish you.
Do 20 push-ups. I'm not gonna tell a 35-year-old who just got off of work and was stuck
Probably
on the palmetto.
Shift.
You know, like that's not. You know,
could you imagine? Do 25 push-ups and tell the class why you're late.
And they're paying you. It's like,
and they're paying you for it.
So I don't believe in that type of structure. You know.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people go to jiu-jitsu to like stress release. You know, and then you're coming into like an angry teacher because you're late, like because of traffic and work, and then you have to deal with that. And you're like, I just come here to like, you know,
people definitely wouldn't last like that.
Yeah, at least not anymore, I guess.
There's some places still like that, and some people like that. Some people want that type of structure. I feel like they like the schools where they take your attendance. You have to wear their gear. You know, some people like that structure. Some people like the old traditional martial arts, wearing the gi. You know, the stripes. They like that format. You know.
Does Wagner also teach gi classes?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, okay. Because then you're kind of like 10th Planet now. Because you're like all no gi only.
Yeah. So I used to be a gi guy. I used to love the gi, till like blue belt.
Until blue belt. That didn't last very long. Loved the gi. I white belt.
But it was it's kind of Wagner's fault. I mean, Wagner and Ruben. So around that time, like I started. Ruben had come over to our school when he was a brown belt and I was a white belt. So I started hanging out with Ruben and I would go on seminars with him. Nice. And I was learning leg locks. And I was like straight ankle locks. I got good at that. And around that time, DDS started exploding. And I really liked Danaher Death Squad. So, yeah. I liked Eddie Cummings, Gary Tonin. So I would watch video and just train. So Wagner started noticing that I like leg locks. So I would go into gi classes with my gi. And he's like, hey, you have your no-gi stuff? And around that time, he was already moving from MMA back into jiu-jitsu. Like, you know, because he used to do MMA in Bellator. He fought in UFC. So he was going back into jiu-jitsu. So he started getting super fights and stuff. So he really wanted to learn that aspect of the game. As far as the modern leg locks, you know, of course, he could defend a lot of the basic stuff. But I would study it, and I would come into gi class, and he's like, you have your no-gi stuff? I'm like, yeah. All right, don't put the gi on. So he would literally teach a gi class, and I'd be sitting on the side. And then we would go in the middle and we'd work 50-50.
Like after the class?
Nope. He would teach the class and it was me and him working some leg locks in the middle of the class.
So you had like your own little private class while everyone was doing
and it was just us feeding back from each other. Like I would do something and he's like, man, like the honey hole at first, when people started doing the honey hole, was like, how do you get out of this? People didn't know. So I would put him in the honey hole and he started figuring ways out. And then I would go back, man, he escaped. What did I do wrong? And I would try to find ways to counter that. So that helped me like get that aspect of my game better. But it also pushed me away from the gi because I was doing gi less and less. And I really started liking no gi. So the gi became like a thing that I would just do like once or twice a week just so I could get my belt. You know, I was mostly a no gi guy. So I'd go to every...
get my belt. Well, it's true, yeah, because... yeah, never mind. All right, I'm going to ask the next question. Okay, what do you think sets your gym apart from other gyms?
I think we have a nice, good culture. Everybody gets along. We don't talk about politics in class. We don't talk about religion in class. We play loud music, different types of music. No, we do. We joke around. We have a fun time. We make fun of each other in class. Just kind of like a chill environment. Just like, you know, when I go to Daniel Perez, you guys have jokes on each other and stuff like that. So we have that. We feel like a big group, like that's like a family almost. I really pushed for every time my guys compete for everybody to go and watch together because I think it's important, you know, to get that team bonding outside of the gym also. I just feel like everybody cares for each other in the gym. And we train hard, though, too. So it's not like it's a country club where you're going to go over there and hear about chinche or whatever. It's going to be, look, we're going to talk crap and then we're going to kill each other on the mats, you know? Yeah. And aside from that, like, we're one of the new guys in town. No-gi, you know, oriented. So, yeah, I think it sets us apart. We think that's where the sport is really going. And our goal is to have some ADCC champions one day, win some trials, you know. These are the goals that we have.
Yeah.
Those are the
get more
gym goals.
Recognized.
Yeah.
Those are gym goals. We need gym goals.
Do we not have gym goals?
I think I'm trying to actually get people on the ADCC train.
The Open.
I'm actually trying to get people to go with me.
The Open.
Estella recruited me, and I'm like, all right, fine. I guess I'm doing this again. Let's go.
Yeah. The ADCC Open is gonna change a lot of things because it's gonna be
I did that
regional.
one too. That was nice.
Well, they're doing more.
They're doing a lot more now.
So,
I did it in Vegas because it was before the main event. I'm like, I'm going there anyway, so I did it. But obviously, I'm gonna do more.
Well, they're gonna rank you now. They're gonna have rankings and all that,
exactly.
so it's gonna be cool. You know, it's a better option I feel than the IBJJF where you wear the wrong rash guard.
You get
disqualified.
I just said that today.
You know, it's
I
like
was telling our white belts, I'm like, at least it's a new breed. You don't have to wear a super specific rash guard because her team rash guard isn't in yet. But so I was like, don't worry, it's just new breed. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, so I think the sport's heading more no-gi. So our focus is winning a lot of local events, and then later on moving up to more prestigious events in the future.
You don't think that the love of the pajama is gonna come back?
No, not at least not on my part.
This guy, the love
I'm not helping
me.
that.
No,
And
other people because Maragali's trying to like bring it back. He's going Gordon style, but like for the gi. He's like.
And Gordon's supposedly gonna do the gi.
And then he's gonna be the other king that's battling him, I guess.
I don't know. I think the gi's boring to watch. Like even when I like the gi, like I would train in the gi. I never watched gi. Like every time I watch it, I found it so boring.
I know, like the past the hands, it just.
I like watching the highlights.
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
It's a few seconds.
Yeah, you see the
You're
action.
like, I just need to see the action, exactly, like the important part.
There's some guys that like they really attack and they're fun to watch, but they're far and few in between. You know, I feel like most guys just played safe. You know, when you're playing with strategy to win by like advantage, and guys pulling it to 50-50, I just don't see it ever becoming a mainstream.
Yeah, and Ogi's kind of like a double-edged sword too, because like you might be too hard to hold down, but then like the other person has the same advantage. Like you're slippery, but I can, like it's.
Yeah,
it's hard to hold you down, but it's easy to get like attacked and stuff.
Yeah, you create more movement, of course. I mean, and then Nogi's not perfect either. There's different rule sets that, like EBI at first, everybody's EBI is great, right? But now people are playing defensively just to get to the OT.
Stalling.
Yeah, just move around enough, and not always the best guy wins.
Yeah.
In EBI, so there's.
I agree.
So there's pro and cons to every rule set, though. You know.
What's your favorite rule set?
I like the ADCC rule set. It forces a stand-up game.
Mm-hmm.
The point system is very fun, I guess, with the takedowns and stuff. Like, it's not like IBJJF, you just take them down, you just hold them down. Like, you really got to pin them, so I think it's more exciting.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. It's the first 3 minutes, no points, right?
Yeah, I think the first
So
half.
you can pull guard in the first 3 minutes if you want, but after that, if you do it, then you got to, deal with the stand-up, basically.
Yeah.
And that's a strategy too, but you gotta deal with both sides, which is nice. Like you have to do both basically. Like, sub only no points, and then 3 minutes of points included. And they penalize you actually for pulling guard.
And stalling.
It's like what, -3 or something?
No, I think it's negative point for stalling.
No, for the guard pool.
I'm not sure. That's another thing too. We have to really look into ADCC rules since the Open's coming around and they have their own sets of rules. Yeah. They're coming. I think they're coming to Miami for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mo had said that Miami's gonna be a location.
I'm like waiting for them to come to this side because right now they're announcing like West Coast stuff. So I'm like, come to this side.
And people are already traveling to do the different Opens, so.
I know, but I can't get that much time off of work. I hate this. I hate this 40-hour work week. God. Okay. How do you balance the physical demands of training with injury prevention?
Can we consider it injury prevention if you just came off of a broken...
Okay, and recovery? Because you're recovering. And recovery. Like, what do you tell the students? Because, some people also get discouraged if they get hurt. And, it's kind of part of it. Like, you should expect it. But, like, what do you do to, how do you balance that out?
I mean, like Delia was saying, I broke my leg.
As she was saying.
I mean, injuries are gonna happen. Like when I broke my leg, for instance, I wasn't going hard. We were not like scrapping, like fast pace. Like you guys see two cats fighting. Sometimes it looks like that. It was not even like that. I was literally going really light with one of my students. He went for a takedown, and I had rolled my ankle far enough where it broke my fibia. It just happened, things like that happen.
It actually broke, or was it a
fracture?
Oh,
no, it snapped.
Ooh.
Yeah, it snapped.
Did it sound like a baseball bat breaking?
I did not hear that. People in the gym said it sounded like a wood snapping or whatever. I heard a crunch and pop. And I thought my knee went out when I fell to the ground. And I was holding my shin. And I'm like, well, I could bend my knee. So my knee's good. My shin looks intact. So I was like, I just probably destroyed my ankle, tore some ligaments, which I did. So when I put my foot on the ground, when not even getting up, I couldn't even put pressure on the ground. I was like, this doesn't feel right. So when I went to the hospital, they were like, yeah.
Oh, so you didn't even get up?
No, they had Vic, and a bunch of people carried me out, went to the ER.
Damn,
So, and I had been hospitalized 2 weeks before that with a upper respiratory infection. Not hospitalized, but I went to the ER. I had the same doctor twice in 2 weeks in the ER.
Oh my god.
She's like,
you're working too much.
Yeah. She's like, you're back? I'm like, yeah, unfortunately. Injury prevention.
Sometimes
Injuries.
it's hard.
Yeah, things happen. Like, you land the wrong way. All you can do is try to teach them how to fall better. If I see a student looks super tired, and I'll tell them, hey, take a day off. You look like crap. You're going to get sick. You're overtrained and you're not sleeping enough, you're going to get sick.
Yeah.
More injuries could happen, They have to balance that on their own. As a coach, we can only do so much. We try to see warning signs of, hey, this guy looks kind of like too beat up lately and he's really pushing. You might tell him, hey, take a day off. Yeah. But,
Calm down.
there's not too much you can do,
Man, you also feel really guilty when you hurt like your teammate.
Yeah.
Even though it's probably they fell wrong or they put their arm in a bad place.
Yeah, when I broke my leg, I was more worried about my student who did it because I looked at his face and he looked so disappointed. And I was
broke my professor.
Yeah. So I just told him like, hey, like as I was leaving, like, hey, promise me you're gonna come keep training while I'm gone. And he promised me and he kept coming in. But that was like my thing. It was like I don't want him to stop, and not like because I don't want to lose a member. It was like I really like the guy, and he likes it, So I don't want to discourage him and make him feel like there's any resentment. Because I have friends that don't do jiu-jitsu, like, yo, did you kick that guy out? I'm like, it's not like that, Like if he came and he side kicked me while I was walking,
That's just,
I might have to stab him. But
It came up to me, side kicked me, maybe.
That's different. But like we were just literally rolling. It was a move that he does really well. Most of the time.
Was it a takedown?
He has a takedown. It's like a tight waist. He switches his hips. Lucas Barboza likes doing it, and he pulls you over his leg. But somehow I just rolled my ankle. It was just at the end of the day. It was my last roll of the day, and I just talked to David. Like David.
Well, it would be because you.
Yeah, but it was the last roll. But I had told David like, man, that this day's going by like so smooth. The class is going great, we like kind of jinxed it.
Yeah, you jinxed it.
I was like, damn it. And it kind of sucked because like I haven't competed in a long time, and I wanted to start competing again. And then I had broken my leg.
Okay,
I have competed in the past. I've done super fights. I've done a couple new breeds and stuff like that.
Like through all the belts?
I did it in white, blue. Yeah, I did it in all the belts.
All the belts. Yeah, because I was wondering. I was like, I think he competes, but I've never really.
Yeah, I don't compete as much.
Recently.
Yeah, I haven't competed in a long time. That's never been my like it's something I wanted to do, but it's so hard like being older with a full-time job.
Yeah.
So.
So then you're against the needle too, then?
The needle.
Yeah. Steroids.
Steroids.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I think for younger guys, they should stay away from it. Okay. Older guys that not full blown like steroids, trenbolone, whatever. Like if you're on TRT and you're older, I understand
that's
that.
Understandable.
Yeah, understandable. But like full on steroids, I don't know. It's been around for so long.
Yeah.
It's part of the sport, right? Like I feel like ADCC is our WWF, right? You see all our athletes, they look twice as big. It's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle.
It is. It's our entertainment, Like look at a lot of these guys, and they look double the size when they go to ADCC. I think steroids are not good for the sport. But if you need it because you have low testosterone, go for it. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like cheating and stuff, like I see some of the younger athletes doing it. I'm like, wow, you're 22, 23 years old.
No need for it.
Like you're messing up your system. Like you're gonna need probably DTRT when you're in your 30s because you're abusing stuff like that. And it's not good for the sport as far as also we have a lot of children watching.
Yeah.
So when their bodies are developing and they get to a certain age, like man, I can't pack that muscle.
Like that,
But at the end of the day too, is like this is a sport where it's technique also. So you could take all the steroids in your world and you can still suck.
Oh, 100%.
So it's
that's
like,
not gonna make you good.
It's not a miracle.
Yeah, it's a hard subject because the sport has allowed it for so long, right? And it's been a hot topic lately because the IBJJF, they test some people.
Yeah, random.
And they don't even test all of the people. They test some winners. It's not all the winners. But I bet you if they tested the podium, there'd be a lot more people in the news.
Oh yeah.
I bet you if you tested the refs, there'd be some
If
that
you
pop.
tested the refs, they would also.
You know,
So
so
when they're not competing, so it doesn't matter.
no,
But
but
also pop. Do you think women are taking steroids?
oh yes,
Of course.
I know. I just wanted to see if you thought so.
yes,
I asked Estella. She's like, probably.
yes, yes. Most likely they are.
Do you think the top people would be different if it wasn't allowed completely? Like, do you think our top competitors right now, it would be a different list?
I think as far as the younger people would still be there. Some of the
The young
older,
people.
some of the older guys might not be able to hang. You know, like if you ban that and they are not on testosterone, and now their testosterone super low, they might not be able to train as much. I still think they would be successful. Maybe they would drop some spots. Like maybe they wouldn't be top 5. Maybe at the end, because age
not
does
top
get to
5.
you. You know, like, and that's like how men stay younger. As you get older, your levels do decline.
Yeah.
You know, so just like women, you know, women stop producing as much estrogen.
Yeah.
Go through
I'm
menopause.
totally gonna do hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah, so it
when
makes you
it's
feel
necessary.
better, right? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely. I think the top 3, top 5 even would change in some divisions where you might have older guys, kind of like the UFC. When the UFC got stricter on their drug testing, you saw a lot of people drop out that were champions. I think Johnny Hendricks was like one champion that as soon as they started testing, like he started losing. He looked totally different. Vitor Belfort shrinked in size big time after he got popped. You know, like he never was the same after. So it would definitely change the sport.
Yeah.
I think.
Did Gabby do steroids?
Who?
Gabby Garcia?
I don't.
I just wanna confirm.
I don't know.
How is he supposed to know that for sure? It's all speculation.
Oh, it's all, she didn't get caught?
Oh no, yes, I think
the
she
testing?
did. I think she did.
Oh, she did. I'm not sure.
I'm
I'm
not
not-
sure.
I don't want Gabby coming after me.
The way that she goes after Craig. They're so weird. Is that real?
It's a fun game.
It's like they're
Yeah.
just messing around, right?
Yeah.
They're
I love
they're
it, though.
Yeah.
Was that the tattoo he got that was fake?
No, Freddie's tattoo is real.
Freddie?
So Freddie, you know how they have now the El Segundo podcast, and it's Craig Jones and Freddie Pedrique.
Okay.
Freddie's brother trains with us, Lewis. So Freddie runs BJJ World TV.
Uh-huh.
So now they have a podcast called El Segundo
Uh-huh.
with Craig, and Freddie's the one that got the tattoo of Gabby choking Craig, but it actually kind of looks like Gordon. So he tells everybody it's Gabby choking Gordon.
Oh no, because I saw him with a heart and then Gabby's name in it.
I don't know if that's real.
It was just the outline though.
The Freddie
so it wasn't
tattoo.
Like,
The Freddie tattoo
But
is real.
that's real.
That
Like,
was
that's
real.
legit.
That was legit.
oh my god.
But there's guys who have tattooed "fuck Craig Jones" on their bodies.
Why?
Thailand, Nogi camp, they get drunk.
Oh my lord.
That's so silly.
oh my.
Well, then when can we expect you competing again?
Oh
Or
yeah.
can we expect
Um,
oh yeah, because you're still recovering.
Yeah, I mean, like I started rolling again. I'd say like yesterday was like my toughest roll, like gradually coming back with Steven from your guys' gym.
Yo, he's so annoying.
I love going with
He's
Steven,
so
though.
annoying in a good way. So,
He has really
he's
good
so tough.
pressure passing. He stays really tight and
And then
so-
tries to pass his guard.
yeah,
like,
he's really good person to train
Gio
with.
told me,
He's
Gio told me
very
a secret
good.
Yeah.
about him that I'm gonna start
a secret.
doing
Oh yeah.
about his game, and I'm gonna start trying to expose that.
Yes.
So that was your toughest role.
That's been my toughest roll. I've been gradually like I've been rolling with a lot of my lower belts, some of my blue belts that I trust. I've been rolling with more. My foot feels okay. It still feels a little numb in some spots. I don't have all the range. I don't have all the strength yet. So I'm rolling, I guess, intelligently. Like I'm.
Like,
You
you're
might
not
see
doing
it.
stand up either.
I do some stand
you're
up.
doing some?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I won't wrestle. Like I might wrestle up and bring you down and start
Mm.
passing, but I usually pay for it the next day. Like my foot swells up and it hurts. So I don't think. I think it's gonna be like a full year where the bone fully heals. So probably maybe the end of the year, maybe the start of next year. I'll
Like
probably
you're
get-
not gonna do trials or
No, no,
You're
no,
just
no.
gonna prepare the team.
Yeah,
to do
prepare
it.
the
And you're all
team.
gonna go over there.
Yeah, we would like to go as a team, and I have to do a super fight, which I gotta pick the rules for against Drew, because
You're
our team.
fighting Drew?
Yeah, that was part of the Caribbean rollers. The winner would pick the rule set against me and Drew, because the original thing was we were supposed to go against each other
Right. no,
as a
that's
super
one
fight.
day.
Yeah, at the end, when they told me about that, and I was like, yeah, let's go do it. I had broken my leg that day, so I had accepted, and I
And
hit
then
him
broke
up,
your
and then I broke my leg the same day. I was like, hey, listen, I broke my leg.
Ay, ay, ay.
So yeah, so now when they come back, they're gonna do another event, and they're probably gonna add more teams. I think they're looking at for the quintet, so they might do another quintet with different
Ask our
teams.
team.
Yeah, we told them like, hey,
Ask our team. Please.
we had told them like there's a bunch of teams locally that would be a good addition to that. Definitely dropped your school's name, 10 Planet, a bunch of schools. But they want to do the super fight, right? So that's gonna happen sometime either at the end of the year or maybe towards the start of next year.
Okay, so you have definitely plenty of time to recover for that. Cool, that's exciting.
Super.
So after like later, you gonna do trials or anything big like that?
Yeah, maybe not trials. Maybe just do the opens, and I'm gonna do my age group. I'm not gonna be able to hang with those really young guys. Like
you're gonna take advantage of that Masters.
Yes.
So you don't think like as a competitor? I'm always asking everybody like, should I do masters or adults? I haven't done masters yet, but I can do. Like I'm turning 32 this year, so I've been able to do it. I just haven't done it yet.
I say do both, but like me, I'm at the top of the 30s, so I just feel
top
like
of the 30s.
if I did this full time, I would probably go for adult.
I don't do it full time either.
I know. If you feel, it depends how you feel. If you feel young, go for it. See how it goes for you.
I feel young. But I did sign up for a master's one actually. For the next one that's coming up, I switched it to masters because there's more masters people surprisingly in my belt.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, I guess I'll switch to.
What,
masters.
IBGF?
No, Jiu-Jitsu World League.
Okay.
You guys have any people doing?
We
that
have
one?
people doing that one too. We have a good group going.
Very purple. We have one purple belt? Or?
Female?
Yeah.
Katie?
Just one?
Yeah, she doesn't compete though.
Oh, she doesn't compete.
No. Yeah, we have Amanda at blue. She's a competitor.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple of new white belts that are females that I'm pretty sure can compete soon.
Oh yeah, Kelly.
Kelly's probably not going to compete for a little bit. She's trying to still get better. She has competed once, but she doesn't feel confident yet, so I don't try to push people. Yeah, like I tell them, hey, I believe in you, and if you want to do it, go for it, but I'm not going to like harp on it, you got to be ready.
Do you think everyone should compete though at some point?
I think everybody should try it.
At least once, or
Yeah.
every now and again do one at least.
At least try it once. It's nerve-wracking. It's not for everybody. Like jiu-jitsu is tough as it is, and then that's another layer of anxiety for some people. Like you get there, you're like, what the hell am I doing here? I got a full-time job. I got kids. What the hell,
What the hell am I doing here?
What I'm gonna tell my boss if they break my arm? You start thinking the worst things. Some people can't deal with that pressure. So.
Oh my god, yeah. You need
but
I don't even think about getting injured.
Yeah, I've been limping at work, and people are like, oh my god, what happened? I'm like, it's jiu-jitsu, it's fine. I'll be fine. Here's your medication. Limp. Okay, sorry guys, I was limping. Mocking limping. It's just audio. But, because the thing with the competing, I feel like, because people say it's a good way to test yourself too.
It is. So,
even as a hobbyist, do you think you should be doing that, or?
Depends on your goals. I think you should try it. I think everybody should try it at least once.
Do your competitors, have any of them come up to you with like the anxiety problem?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. What do you tell them? How do you help them deal with it?
Some competitors that you see that on my team that compete a lot still have anxiety problems, and they'll tell me, hey, I'm nervous. Just tell them like, hey, it's like, it's not like training, right? Competition's a different pace, but you're not doing nothing different from what you do every single day in that gym. Yeah. There's not going to be something you've never seen before. You just try to get them ready, try to give them strategy, tell them what to work on, and prep them, and just let them know that they got to believe in what they are doing.
Believe in your jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, just believe in your jiu-jitsu, pretty much.
Yeah.
You can't go in there with doubt, like, oh, what about this person? What about, don't worry about that. Just go in there. Sometimes there's people that you probably wreck in training, and then you see them with somebody else that maybe wrecks you, and you're like, oh my God, like, they're really going at it, and I get smashed by that person. Like, styles make matches, right? So you can't be looking at somebody like, that person's gonna run through me. Have they faced you yet?
Have they faced you?
No, so you don't know how they're gonna deal with your style.
Yeah.
So.
That's good advice.
I think so.
Estella said to just. What
she just thinks that people should compete. Yeah, no one's gonna suck and just
compete go in there.
Yeah, but it's not for everybody.
It's really not. That's why I don't necessarily agree with that take. Like, I agree, everybody is different. Everybody's journey is different. Some people can handle competing and some people can't. And at least for females, I don't think it's fair to put that pressure on them specifically because there's so few of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that added layer of pressure. Like, I get it. There's few of us, but we don't all have to compete.
Yeah, some people have jobs where you can't get hurt. Like, If you're a surgeon, you're not gonna compete and get wrist locked.
No, and
you
then
know?
you can't fucking
Do
can't
whatever your
operate.
surgery.
Yeah, you can't operate on someone.
Some people are thinking about providing for their family, so it's like I'm already doing a sport where the injuries could happen just training.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're adding a layer of anxiety, pressure, and stress, and someone's really trying to hurt me now. They're gonna keep cranking till I tap fast enough or the ref stops it. So, some people they gotta feed their family first, So it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Now, if you want to be a competitor, you have to compete, and that's the only way to get better.
Yeah.
Is to compete.
Is there any like special criteria that you use when you're promoting your students, or like what do you look for really at the belt levels?
Basically, just like a lot of people do in the gi. For me, when you're ready for your blue belt, you know how to defend yourself. You know how to escape a lot of the basic positions. My blue belts, they don't know how to escape the back, side control. They're really good at escaping positions. That's very important for me, being able to like just survive really well. Because I feel like blue belt is like when you start building more offense also. Like a white belt, you don't know anything. You're just trying to survive. By the time you're at blue belt, you start already learning a couple sweeps, a couple attacks. The attacks might be more singular. Like, you might throw Kimura, it fails, you're stuck there, So I feel like once you're ready for your purple belt, you're already starting to throw multiple attacks. You have a more intricate game. You're starting to find your game. Brown belt, I feel like you're basically a black belt already.
Yeah, what's brown belt?
Yeah,
What's
brown
going
belt.
on? What's even going on there?
To me, that's like the waiting period, right? Like you're.
Yeah, it's just a transition one, so that you know that it's.
Because like if you look at the purple belt, the modern purple belts these days, they look like black belts.
Yeah.
Better than black belts did in the 90s, I feel like, with the
That's
level.
how I feel about the children right now, man. Like, I think looking at the children going at it, I'm like, Jesus.
It's just the amount of information out there. It's no longer you guys have your set of stuff passed down by your master or whatever,
Right.
and we have and then we go to our camcorders and like, oh, they did some new move, and then you try to break it. No, everything's online.
It's like internet
BJ Fanatics.
Internet cross-training.
Everybody makes an instructional, and they're all really good instructionals, and people are using the same systems like Gordon systems, Danaher systems, or whoever systems. It's all out there, so that information is helping everybody's game elevate. So I feel like everybody at every belt level, competitively, they look way better than the generation before. So I feel like when you're in your brown belt already, you're just a killer.
You're finding all the stuff you discovered in purple.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And as far as my gym too, like I also look for, especially my higher belts, I expect them to help out their other teammates.
Like teach them.
Yeah, like I don't make you, but I do notice that when I see like, Vic or Steven, they stop and they correct another group that's next to them before I could even get to it. I want that team aspect of them helping each other too.
Yeah.
So
I think that's nice, and it also creates more bonds. They feel more comfortable talking to you and asking questions instead of always going to, the professor or black belt. And it helps the lower belt, lower to you, but higher belts in general helps them with their skills also, because you have to actually think about like all the steps.
Yeah. So in order to teach a move, you have to really know it backwards and forwards, and teaching sometimes helps to commit things to memory.
yeah.
At least for me, it's helped that way.
It's definitely helping me. So also I've noticed that a lot of schools that do have competitors, you have a lot of competitors at your gym, that a lot of schools have a competition class or a situational class. Is it the same class or is that separate classes?
So we don't have a competition class.
Mm-hmm.
Our classes are mixed, right? Because me and David both work full-time jobs, and then we just teach at night. We have Tony Diaz teaching the morning classes. So I've never had a competition class because of the amount of time that we do have to teach at night. What I like to do is I'll teach maybe 2 or 3 weeks of like back attacks and just systems that the white belts can understand, and the higher level people can add to their game. It's the situational classes that I have are Wednesdays and Fridays. I make them run through pretty much almost all the positions, different rounds. You start on the back, let's say, and I might tell you your goal is to hold on to the back, and the other person just has to escape. Then the next round, I'll tell you have to hold them or submit them, and they had to escape. So I'm putting people in these positions all the time, because a lot of times as competitors and people that are better than most of the people, like the higher end guys in your gym, they're not put in those bad positions all the time. So that also lets me gauge where everybody's at too. Sometimes I look around the room and we'll start in single leg X. We'll start in X guard. We'll start in 50-50 with different goals. It might not be to catch the heel hook, maybe in 50-50, whoever gets up. You know, then I see nobody knows how to do that. So in those classes,
nobody knows how to get up.
so in those classes, like I kind of do that one freestyle. Like I'll see what everybody's like really having trouble at, and at the end of the class, I'm like, look, you guys were all doing this wrong, and we'll go over that. And then you'll see in the next class, people are doing it. And then I'll find another weakness, you know, and I was just like, okay, you're working from turtle. You got to break them down and take their back, you know, and then, oh, everybody did horrible on that. Okay, cool. We're going to fix that. So that helps everybody come up together. It helps the competitors because now they're put in bad positions. Like a lot of people do not train with purpose. And especially like, I mean, like if you're a competitor, you should be training with purpose. Like when you go into class, you should be looking at what your instructor's teaching, but you should have goals for yourself set aside that you're looking into, right? Like, oh, my passing sucks. I'm going to work on passing. I'm studying this instructional. I have these set of moves that I'm trying to work on, and I'm going to pass X's guard 4 times a day. Like, set goals in your head and train with a purpose. Outside of what they're teaching, like, yeah, try the moves that your instructor is teaching. So I try to tell my students, like, especially the competitors, train with purpose. So when they do train, they have goals, and it really accelerates your progress. I'll tell some of my competitors, like, look, I think you suck right here in this position. You need to work that. I really need to see that. And they'll do it. I'll see them working on it on their own. They'll look up stuff and they'll tell me, hey, coach, what do you think about this? I'm like, okay, cool. That works. And
so you said like pass an X guard? Like
we'll start in like X guard and you got to get out of that.
Because like when you're rolling, like, you know, you can't always force people to do the stuff that you want to work on. So like how do you practice with intent there? Because I'll have that in my head. I was like, I'm going to work on this. And then it's like so hard to get to where I need to go to work on said thing. And then I end up just doing a bunch of other stuff.
So like the X guard one, like if that day, that situational, I was thinking about maybe doing, teaching single leg X and X guard. Because, you know, they flow into each other. That might be the lesson I'm teaching at the end of the night when I do the situational. So I'll throw an X guard in there. Just see where they're at. Because sometimes it doesn't make sense to somebody. But if you tell them, hey, this is where you're starting out. This is how your legs go. See what you can do. And some people that never done it before, they're going to fail and fail and fail. And then when we go over it at nighttime, they start seeing why the foot placements are where they're at. Because they were there and it was failing for them. And they start making that connection. Then when we do it again on Friday, you see that a lot of them are picking up on it. And they're getting the sweeps now. Or they're getting out of the X guard. So that's how we do it.
Well, I think I meant like, okay, so let's say I'm like, oh, I want to work on my Kimura sequences from the north-south position, but it's in the open live rolls, but it's really hard to get to that position. Like I'm trying to go in there with an intention to work on that specifically in that progression, but then I find trouble getting there.
Okay.
Depending on people's different styles. Like maybe I'll get it with one person, but like how can... sometimes it feels difficult to work with intention in that sense.
Yeah, like train like the purpose.
I mean, with the purpose.
What I tell some of my students and they do it, they'll record their rolls.
I always forget to record them.
Yeah, and I mean it's hard to watch yourself. It's kind of hard to watch yourself, right? You're like,
oh my god,
cringe,
like, cringe.
Yeah, like, but it's an honest assessment of yourself. You know, you try to look at yourself like it's somebody else. Like, wow, my stepping, trying to go north south is horrible. My passing's horrible, and you just write notes. And then you could go with that footage too, and you could go to Danny, like, hey, Danny,
like,
look.
I should be able to get to where I need to be every time.
Well, you could troubleshoot, right? If you watch the video, you could see where you're failing, why you're not getting to north-south. And then you could take that footage if you want. You go to Danny, look what I'm doing. What's up? And Danny's going to be like, well, look, you didn't control the leg as you're passing. You were doing Toriando, and you were not pinning them the right way. And you could break down your game and fix that and make those small adjustments. A lot of times it's small adjustments that you need to get to those positions. You're stepping the wrong way. You're not blocking the hip right. There's something that you're doing that little small adjustment can change where you're at. Sometimes it's the smallest thing. And my students will do that. They're like, look at my roll. What am I doing wrong? They'll text it to me. I get text messages all the time on WhatsApp.
Send a clip.
Yeah, they send me a clip. Like, look, I kept losing the leg in this position. I'm like, oh, well, you're not controlling the secondary leg. You lost the knee line. And I'll break it down to them. Like, okay, so what we do? I'm like, all right, when we get to class, let's sit after class. And like, I'll sit there. When class ends, sometimes I stay an hour extra. And people are just sitting around and we're like, and I'm having trouble here, and I'm having trouble there. And we bounce like...
They've got like a laundry list.
Yeah. My classes on Wednesday and Friday initially was an hour. Because our Monday, Tuesday, Thursday classes, they're like an hour and a half. And then we roll after. I wanted to do an hour, make it more simpler. We'll teach a couple situational roles, and then we'll teach some simple moves. But lately, it's turned into like a Q&A, and most of my class is sticking around to like 9 o'clock, and the class starts at 6:30. So
Wow.
and just everybody's just there, like just hyped up, learning, and it doesn't bother me. Like I'm not one of those
No, it
coaches.
doesn't.
Like
I imagine it has to feel really fulfilling to do what you do and have everybody like kind of on the edge of their seat and wanting to know more
Yeah.
and having questions.
And a lot of times I'm not teaching like the funkiest moves, I'm not teaching like, hey, guard. I'm not teaching anything like intricate guards sometimes. I mean, I will teach it to like the higher end students that want to learn that. Because I don't have a competitive class, like sometimes trying to teach like K guard or something with bigger students or different shape people or where they're at in their training, I can't teach some of those moves. I will do it sometimes depending on the room on my situational night. So a lot of my competitors do come to my Wednesday and Friday classes. Sometimes the class is smaller, let's say like 15 people, but it's guys that can really move. And I'm like, okay, today's the day that I'm going to do a little bit more funky guards today. And I just read the room a lot of times. But I'll have a curriculum set up for like a couple weeks in advance as far as my regular classes. Like, and depending on what we have going on too.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so if I have students doing an event with EBI rules, like we have next weekend, we have 4 of our people going up to submission grappling up in Orlando. So this week, it's going to be back attacks and back escapes. That way my competitors are just drilling with the class, and I'm teaching them like new techniques on how to getting out fast, like, kind of like I was going over review on
Yeah.
open mat,
The triangle body.
yeah,
triangle.
getting out of the body triangles, is like, just keeping them up to date, and the beginners are learning too.
Cool. Well, I guess that's pretty much most. I do have a few internet questions for you.
Okay.
That was nice. A lot of competition information that I absorbed. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
it was good. Thank you for that.
Yeah, because open mat is in and out, so.
Gotta take Banksy out.
So it's just a couple. So Drew wants to know, how has your transition to the sisterhood been? You're so brave.
I'm gonna kick Drew's ass.
Right? Isn't that your super fight?
Yeah, it was Drew. Yeah, people that don't know, I mean, everybody knows. Me and Drew have like an internet rivalry, but that's my boy. We competed against each other at, you guys remember Substars?
Yeah.
That they didn't pay anybody and stuff like
Right.
that. We competed that when they did it at the Tank, was it? Where's the last event that they did? White Line does it now in a theater,
Yeah.
but before
The brewery?
there was another brewery that she had started there and in a back room, but Substars would get the main room, and they had it like elevated stage. It was cool because everybody could sit around, and like the vibe was crazy. It's just the guy went too big, too fast. I was trying to. I think he did an event at the. What was that? That state. There's he did it somewhere like near downtown, and they had like people working the seating. They had people working concession stands. They invited Gordon Ryan. So like he couldn't pay nobody. So he went like bankrupt. But yeah, me and Drew, we had trained. Found a picture. We actually trained before, but we didn't really talk like that. And I don't talk crap online like that. And when we were supposed to face each other, he was like talking crap. So I was like, whoa, okay. But we were cool. We became cool after that. Like after that match, I lost in overtime, double overtime, and he actually came to train with me a bunch because he saw like I was attacking him over and over and over again. So he wanted to learn the leg locks, and we bonded on that too. So we're actually good friends. We just talk crap to each other online. So
good transition to the sisterhood.
I'm not joining any sisterhood.
How rude!
You're an honorary member.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
what
already
you're
a
talking
member.
about.
You didn't even
But
realize.
it's the gi, sisterhood of the no gi.
That's true. We do need a version for no gi.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't trained gi in like years.
I'm gonna be honest. I very little, very little gi training, but I'm trying to do a little more. Okay, from who was? I don't know what his name is. Jizz.
Oh, that's
he
Joaquin.
knows.
That's Joaquin Jizz.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
poor guy has a bad last name.
What is he though?
Mr. Jizz.
Sorry.
Who has the best memes and stickers at Mortalis?
Oh man, Joaquin is,
Okay, him.
Yeah.
Obviously.
it has to be
I thought you
Joaquin.
were gonna crush his heart. I was like, if he's asking the questions,
Say
it's
somebody
to-
else.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Joaquin is he's funny. He makes really good memes. They're bad actually. They're so bad they're good.
They're so
Like he crops them really crappy and it just comes out good.
terrible. And then Matthew just wants to say, aside from being a great coach, you're an amazing human, and he's grateful to be your student.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Matt's an awesome student too.
I don't know you, Matt, but
Matt is one of our white belts.
I don't think I've met him.
Likes yoga.
Oh.
Very chill dude. He came from us from Black House. He drives over an hour sometimes because he lives by the beach and he comes to train with us because he used to come
Wow,
to our
that's
open
smart.
mats on Sundays. And his last competition on his in his last team, he got put out, but he saw how our team was always together and like supporting each other, and he
Yeah.
liked that. So he was like, one day I'm signing up. And then he finally won his first match. Last time he competed was his first competition with us, so he won his first match. Lost the second one by points, but he was really close to winning it. So yeah, Matt's an awesome student.
You're cute. Cute.
That's dedication. Driving an hour to get to your gym.
Yeah, I mean that's common in a lot of places. I know people that go to 10th Planet Miami that I've heard that travel. They go far.
Oh
you know?
yeah, I have a neighbor that drives all the way over there all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. He lives in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we're done here. Thank you so
Awesome.
much for talking to us
Yeah, we appreciate you being on.
and you spreading your knowledge and wisdom
It was a pleasure being on the Sisterhood.
for the transition to the sister.
I transitioned today.
I transitioned.
So wait, what's your pronoun now then?
It's still Melo.
I like it, okay. Before we let you go, I want you guys to remember to follow us on Instagram, Sisterhood of the Traveling Geek. Or you can also follow Ashley on hers at Dark Nebula BJJ. Or you can follow me at Edelia22 and
You can follow me at DMeloBJJ on Instagram or Mortalis Jiu-jitsu on Instagram for the gym.
Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
We're tapping out.